I just want to say thank you for everybody that's been showing up. Thank you for everybody that's been making a commitment to themselves to actually do the work. You know what I mean? Last week's video, I'm sorry, y'all. Last week's video got posted late, and I just want to say I apologize. By the ending of last week, having to head to Texas for my niece's birthday, and all of the things that was encompassing that, finishing school early, getting my schoolwork done early enough, cleaning the house, packing, doing laundry, all of those things kind of pushed the editing of the video back a bit. So I want to apologize for the video coming out on Saturday instead of Thursday. I do still hope that y'all tuned in on whatever day, or y'all tune in. This is the alert that it is there. You feel what I'm saying? So if you could just go ahead and click that button. The link is in the bio to all of my social media. Click the link, head over to the YouTube, get the long form of the information that I'm actually sharing. I'm doing this for all of us, you know what I'm saying? And like I said before, this is a conversation. So if you get anything from this, if you can, you know what I'm saying, if this sparks a thought and you felt like I was missing a piece, or the thought is you want to add on a piece that you think is just going to make it make more sense, I am so open to all of it. I'm so open to all of it. Vulnerability. If y'all can have y'all pens and y'all papers ready, that would be dope. I got a couple of questions for y'all, and I want y'all to ponder these questions while we go throughout this talk, while we check out this piece, right? Who are the 3 people you're most vulnerable with, right? I want you to pick 3 people, and whenever I ask you to pick people, it's very important that you write their names, not mom, dad, sis, work friend. Write their names. Who are 3 people you're most vulnerable with? And on the scale from 1 to 5, how vulnerable are you with them? Question number 2, what are some personal boundaries you set for yourself, and how do you respect those boundaries when you're dealing with others? Think about that. Right. So practice identifying and labeling your emotions. This can help you be more comfortable with acknowledging and expressing them. So, for example, like you might say some things in this video, and it'll make you feel something, and you might not completely understand what it made you feel, but make a note that you felt something when this was said or when that thing happened in your life, right? And I think you can journal. Journaling is another one of those pieces, another one of those things that you can do to help you get more vulnerable with yourself. I really do think there needs to be a comfortability with vulnerability with self. There needs to be a muscle memory attached to building a relationship before already. And I think where you get that practice, where you get that muscle memory, is by doing it through yourself and thus God, right? Because the only way you get closer to you is who are you, right? You know? I don't know if that makes complete and total sense, but who are you? Man, it's a little bit too deep. I might have to just talk about vulnerability. Who are you? Who are you? Therapy Thursday. Therapy Thursday. Oh gosh. Shout outs to pastors, shout outs to Mom Duke, shout outs to all the ones that know how difficult this was once upon a time for me, who have helped me along the way to be right here, right now. I really appreciate you. I am hoping to help somebody else watching this. For real. Vulnerability is this week's topic, and off rip, I could tell you that I was one of the most shy people in the world. I went to Texas this past weekend, and my wife's cousin asked a question. We were playing the Red Box game, and the question was, when was the last time you felt most like yourself? And I thought about it, and my real answer on the moment, without enough time to think, I said, I don't think I've ever felt like myself with the understanding that I have now. of what I have to do and who I have to become, right? I understand that all of those times that I was a version of myself, it wasn't who I was supposed to be effective, you know what I mean? And be able to execute so I can get the things that I want in life, right? So my answer was I'm actually becoming. I don't think I've ever been myself. I'm becoming right now. And then, some time passes or whatever the case may be. And then I go back to, when I was 3 or when I was 4, when I was before life, before those trauma events that came about in our lives, right? We all had them. Back then, I had my voice. So there's a vulnerability piece, This week, we are working on vulnerability. Vulnerability is what I want to talk about. We spoke about acknowledgement. We spoke about forgiveness, right? Now we got to talk about vulnerability. Like, you want to build relationships, right? Without trust, there is no relationship, right? But how do you get trust, right? You get trust through acts of vulnerability. And vulnerability is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically, emotionally, or spiritually. One of the most difficult things about vulnerability is you need to be in that state or in that feeling or in that emotion so you can actually start building trust. Right. So for example, let's talk about the trust fall back when we was in middle school or whatever. And you standing up is you and your partners in front of you or you and your partners behind you. And then you're supposed to go like this and fall back. So when you're standing in this position, before you fall back, before you do that trust fall, you're not automatically trusting. What happens first is you're saying, all right now I'm going like this. I'm going to fall back. I hope they're going to catch me. But there's a possibility that they won't, right? And that's why you always stepped. You always put that foot behind you, right? Because you weren't being vulnerable. You didn't. But when it was your boy behind you, right? Then you was like, you understand what I'm saying? Because there were these things there. So the hard thing about vulnerability is you have to be uncomfortably comfortable enough with an individual to say, I'm going to be vulnerable in that way that I was vulnerable before, that led to me being hurt. Yeah, they hurt me. I understand that, but I'm going to do it again. You keep doing it, and then you do get to a point where it's like, how many times I'm going to keep taking my heart out my chest and giving it to this person, and they just do whatever they want with it, right? And then you start placing the blame on other people and you say, I'm not going to be vulnerable anymore. So you have to ask yourself, is there nobody's happy? Nobody has happy, healthy relationships. Nobody's doing that work to get to where they want to be. And the fact of the matter is that sometimes we go into those relationships that are a little bit easier. They're just a little bit more surface. They require just a little bit less vulnerability. And we think because of the frequency that we hit the relationship, we think that trust and all of these other attributes are built, right, and upholding it. But you see yourself in the mirror every morning. You sleep with yourself in the bed. You drive with yourself to work. You know what I'm saying? You eat dinner with yourself every day, bro. Sis, mom, you feel what I'm saying? Every day, and you don't like you, or you don't want to listen to your thoughts, or you feel a type of way about the thing that you said at work, like you feel that way about yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So imagine, what work do you think it takes for you to, if you don't have that patience for yourself? And this is why I say that the relationship with self is the most important one. If you don't start being honest with self, then when you have to practice it elsewhere, you won't know how. You've never done it before. You know what I'm saying? Think of yourself like a test dummy. I'm saying all of that to say you should be mindful of who you're being vulnerable with. You're accepting the fact that you can possibly be hurt spiritually, emotionally, or physically, right? So we're talking about who you are choosing to be vulnerable with right now. When you choose to be vulnerable, you have to accept that human beings, we make mistakes. So even if you've communicated it properly, even if they've demonstrated the understanding, you have to accept the fact that something can go wrong in their life and they might accidentally drop your heart because they are used to dropping theirs, right? This thing in life called adversity, it just comes with life. It's gonna come with it. It's a part of it. I love when ET says that. It's a part of it. Adversity is a state or instance of serious or contained difficulty or misfortune. And when I think of the mindset, right, and I think of adversity, and I think of life's adversities, those are all moments where I have felt beat up or beaten down by life, physically, emotionally, or or spiritually, right? So isn't it interesting, right? Isn't it interesting that that's what comes with life, and you have the opportunity, right? Because you're blessed to wake up every day. Let's just really take a minute. You're blessed to wake up every day, right? You have an opportunity to look at things a way that will be beneficial to you, right? So instead of looking at life's adversities as life doing something to you, and you start taking action in journaling, right? Taking that it's an intentional step. You're saying, I'm going to take out my pen and my paper, and I'm going to write down how I felt about the things that happened today, whether they be good, bad, indifferent. I'm going to write about it. I'm gonna judge myself. I'm not gonna judge myself. I'm going to be nice, calm, nasty, mean. I'm going to write. I'm gonna date it. When you work on your mindset and say that I'm going to be vulnerable, I'm going to be vulnerable. I get to be vulnerable. I was woken up today. He has given me breath. I am alive. I've chosen to live. I get to be vulnerable. I get to, you feel me? Like, there's power in that. And that's a power that I am continually becoming accustomed to. That's a power that I will continually tap into, because I'm in complete understanding that on my own I can't do it. I understand that 100%. Like, without my Father, without God, I might as well just, you understand what I'm saying? Like, just lay down and sleep all day like I used to. You know what I'm saying? But we all know where that led me. Something that I've personally been dealing with as an accountability coach, as someone who mentors all sorts of people, there comes a piece or a time where you have to acknowledge you are human and you deal with things too. And you might need to lead by example in this moment, or you might need to analyze yourself. So sometimes we're even in situations or dealing with problems that aren't really right now problems that we should have dealt with a while back. So a couple years back, my uncle came in my crib. You know, from how I remember it, he violated me. He came in the crib carrying on. At this time, I believe I was probably 26, 27, lost in life, didn't know left from right, for real. Didn't really have any guidance either. I mean, like, I definitely went out and I looked for what it meant to be a man. But as far as, pops, uncles, whatever the case may be, I was raised in a house full of women. It is what it is. So my uncle, he pulls up. Mind you, this is after he left his kids there that week, and I watched his kids. He ain't leave no bread or nothing. It was they went out to Vegas. I don't know. But I always take care of my family. I love children. You'll get to know that about me. Children love me because there's rules. And I'm very consistent. It is what it is. So he came back. I think the grass wasn't cut. He came in the crib and he started going off. He started yelling. Crazy thing about it is, I was in that state of my life, like lost, didn't know what to do with myself, right? And I'm saying, you gotta start somewhere. I'm talking, I always say acknowledge where you are, and then there's little steps, right? So I acknowledged that I wasn't it where I was at in life. It wasn't where I was supposed to be, right? And I had to be having talks with my mom and my little brother, and I'm like, what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start mowing the lawn. I don't know where to get the or what I don't know, but I'm gonna do it. Like, y'all never asked me or required this of me. Like, this was always something, but I want to start. So he came in. These are talks that have been happening days to a week prior, right? So he came that weekend to pick his children up, and he came in the crib and he started wilding. He started bugging like, oh, you how you home all day and you can't mow the lawn for your grandmother, my mother, you a piece of this, and you're not a real man and you'll never amount to nothing. And how could you be? I'm like, whoa, I'm time out. Like, mind you, me, 360 plus pounds. I've been fat all my life, right? The first time I've ever lost weight was through a really bad depression. And people used to be like, yo, oh, what are you doing? What are you eating? And I was eating the same. I wasn't going to the gym. I was sad. But the weight came off, and through that depression, I found out I could lose weight. Like, I just needed to see it done, and I know that I could do it. That's always how I learned. Uncle, he's this bodybuilder dude. He used to come to New York City and train celebrities. I remember he used to train one of the girls off of Saturday Night Live. He was doing his thing, or is doing his thing. He opened up his own like gym in Delaware where it's his gym, and he got people. So yo, bro, I look up to this dude. Like, if anybody can help me save my life as far as this weight, like, it could be him. And I didn't have a pop. Like, my pops wasn't there the way I wanted to be there. He wasn't there the way I wanted him to be there. Whether that was my fault, his fault, or my mom, I don't know. My uncle, he was just different, right? Like, I would ask him for help. I would ask him for this or like push-ups or that. And he wouldn't even like pay me no mind. And I thought that's what father, whatever relationships, I don't have a gauge on what having no dad to having a father figure just ignore. It's better than nothing, right? But this day he come in the crib and he like, I'm like, yo, bro, like, all the information I've ever asked you for, all that help or guidance or tutelage you play catch with me twice in my life. I remember both times because I wanted that relationship, right? You never gave me nothing. You never gave me nothing, bro. Like, and then you come give me pain? Instead of guidance, you come give me more trauma on top of what you probably could have undone. Because I see myself breaking chains with my brothers and stuff right now. So the work that you could have done back in the past, you separated me and my cousins because of your, you know what I'm saying? At this time, your boy was still shy Marv, not sharing his music with nobody, not speaking up for himself. People still doing Marv however they wanted to do Marv. He just didn't expect it from Uncle. Or like sometimes, like, he was learning and people wasn't trying him. But then, like, family, they say that some of your trauma really is stemmed from those family roots, those things that happened when you was young. It's for real, bro. So fast forward, this is years later. So I'm back here with God, and I see myself, and I'm finding myself. I'm accountability. I'm passing on information. I'm helping people, and then I get to this spot again. I meet this young lady, and this young lady who I love, bro. That's the bro, right? But she presents the same way my uncle presented, right? So I'm like, and I look at myself, and as an accountability coach, as a mentor, I look at myself, and then I look at the position I'm putting again, and I'm like, I don't have to deal with that. That's not my. And I'm like, I think about it. I'm like, why do I feel so strongly about this situation, the current? And I go, it's because you didn't deal with that situation. So the current is getting compound. It's getting compound pressure, right? And now this situation is getting energy that it don't even really deserve because it's something that you didn't work through. That trauma work right there that we talk about, it didn't get done. You know what I'm saying? So I came to realization that I got to talk to my uncle. So here's where vulnerability comes into play. When the situation happened 5, 6 years ago, he was already my uncle. He was already somebody that was supposed to be an example. He was already some what I thought a man should have been already. This is me, ignorant. I didn't have knowledge, but now I am a man. Now I have gone through things, and I even have a little bit of more. I have more sympathy for him because I don't know his story, right? But I was still hurt. So the thing with vulnerability now is I have to go into that situation. I must go through that situation and fully expect for him to hurt me again. I have to face that event in my life that made me put up a boundary. You know what I'm saying? I put up a boundary at 26. I have to face that trauma event, that pain point that made me put up that boundary, so I can break the unhealthy boundary down and move on with my life, because I'm not the accountability coach that can't help one type of person. I'm not the accountability coach that can't see inside of me and see that there's something inside of you that's reflecting in me that needs me to work and then not do the work. I'm truly here to help. I'm truly here to let God through me do whatever he please. Bro, I'm not supposed to be making videos. Like, the people who know me from middle school or elementary or high school or after all of that, and I don't know if y'all can comment, but tell this, I worked on this. I've it takes, and it wasn't 1 year, it wasn't 2 years. This is an intentional 7+ years of work, of growth. I done went up and down in weight 3 times. I'm talking about right now, right now, I'm 5 pounds away from the lowest I've ever been in my life. Again, this will be the 3rd time in my life I'm down here again. And every other time, I've shot all the way back up to 360 plus, bro. It's not, it's not happening this time. I don't know if you can see the changes. You understand what I'm saying? But I feel it. I feel it, and I just want y'all to feel it too. So that's why I pass on all of these things. So, choosing vulnerability in that situation is going to help me understand where my difficulty with that personality type is. So when I can understand this, it'll help me rebuild, right? An understanding to when I get to this present point and I'm dealing with this person, there's compound information and compound learning and compound antibiotics, and not just compound pain, not just compound trauma, not just compound thoughts of what if. It'll be a compound lesson. You understand what I'm saying? Because I really believe in time travel. So when I go back and it's a conversation with him in present time, but I got to go back and do the work and figure out why more it hurts me. Because it doesn't just pop up. Oh, uncle. Oh, it don't just be like uncle. Like, oh snap, gotta speak to uncle. I don't think about, bro. It didn't just pop. I didn't speak to pops in 2 years. It didn't just pop up like, oh, I gotta speak to my dad. It's from a situation. So I'm dealing with a situation now with somebody that I love now, right? Or I was dealing with a thing then, like my accountability meeting. Then I couldn't break a certain wall, and then I said to myself, I said, I don't even talk to my dad about communication. Like, I said it in my head, and I'm like, oh, you have to call your dad. And I'm here, and I'm like, my uncle won't even get to speak to me like that, or my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you say those things, understand that it comes from somewhere, In conclusion, being vulnerable is just like going to the gym, right? And if you go enough, when life throws adversities your way, in your direction, you'll already have the dexterity, right? So being vulnerable is like going to the gym, right? And when life is going to have adversities, and when life throws its adversities at you, you will already have the strength or the dexterity to handle that. So when it happens, when it comes down to it, it's not gonna be a difficult thing for real. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to execute because you've been executing. You feel me? Like, you've been executing, bruh. So you'll be able to execute at the moment of execution. Like, when it's execution time, you care. Vulnerability could be as simple as you talking to yourself in the morning and man, like, yo, why you ain't go to the gym for real this morning? No, for real, why you ain't go to the gym this? I'm talking to you. Nah, I'm not even recording no more. I'm talking. Why you ain't go to the gym this morning? You said that you wanted to get your essay done by Thursday, even though it's not due until Sunday. Why is it Saturday at 11:30 in the morning and you just now opening your book to work on your essay? I know you could get it done, but that's what you said though. So have those conversations as to why you ain't getting in the shower today. Why you ain't brush your teeth? Why you ain't cook dinner? Why you ain't help your kids with their homework? Why? Right? Ask yourself those because you wanted to do it. You're not a horrible person. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So when you stop yourself in your tracks and you prevent yourself from loving yourself and doing the things that'll make you happy, you have to ask yourself why, right? And that it's as simple as that. You don't have to tell anybody the answer. Just be honest with yourself and understand that it's never just you, and that's why you feel bashful is because you know God did. You understand what I'm saying? For y'all that believe in the universe, you know that you throwing it into the universe and you gonna get it back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to get around it. Karma, like, you understand what it is that you're doing and you still choosing to do it. You reap what you sow. Like, comes a time where you have to grow up, and I think a part of growing up is having healthy relationships, and I think a part of those healthy relationships is being vulnerable so you can build trust, so you can actually put something on a relationship so it can get strong, right? And I understand that you were scared when you were a child. It's fair, I understand that. But when I was a child, I spake as a child. I reasoned like a child. I thought like a child, right? But when I became a man, I put childish things aside. You feel me? It gets to a point where we have to make a decision where it's either we're going with our faith or we're going with our feelings. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes you have to lean on faith because you're a human being, right? Because you're a human being, you will feel weak. You will have the temptation to fall short, but because of faith, you understand that it's not just about you. You're just a cog in the machine, and for that reason, you cannot afford to fall short. So what do? You lean on big, bro. Lean on God. You feel me? Like, that thing inside of you that be talking, let it connect with the Spirit of God. You feel what I'm saying? Have that direct connection, and pray for discernment. Pray for the ability to surrender it all. You feel what I'm saying? Pray for the ability to be able to pray better. You know what I'm saying? That's vulnerability, getting down and being humble before God and just spending some time with him and let him know how much you appreciate everything you do for him. Every time you wake up, just show him the adoration that you have for him. Just off rip, because you understand you didn't have to wake up this morning. You didn't. It's not funny, but there are so many people, healthy people, who don't wake up in the mornings, bro. Healthy people who don't wake up, bro. He woke you up. He woke you up. He woke you up. You get to be vulnerable today. You get to fight for yourself. You get to make a difference today. Yesterday happened already, right? And those healthy people that died in they sleep, you're not one of them. So today you get another chance, bro. And there's so much strength in that, man. There's so much strength in that, right?